Dressing up for space. Space. Reading. Outer space has very harsh conditions. Let's find out what astronauts wear to keep themselves safe in outer space. Space is, no doubt, a difficult place to travel to and even more difficult to live in. First, there is no air in space. Then it is very cold, unless the sun is shining directly at you. And since there is no air to protect you, the rays of the sun can burn you. To survive in space, a special space suit is needed to protect your body from the effects of the extreme heat and cold, and to provide you with air so that you can breathe. Space suits are full of air to provide the pressure that your body is used to on Earth. So, they look bloated. Space suits also protect you from space dust, which travels faster than a bullet. The special gold-lined visors protect your eyes from bright sunlight. A space suit is a complete astronaut protection unit, a very intricate and well-designed machine. It has a heating and cooling system and arrangements for air and water to drink on the go. It even allows the astronaut to relieve himself while in the suit. The invention of space suits. Space suits were invented around the 1930s. As one goes higher up in the atmosphere, the air becomes thinner and pilots need air to breathe. In the beginning, the suits were somewhat clumsy as they were quite stiff, bulky, and difficult to move around in. Newer space suits for EVA. The earliest astronauts stayed inside their spacecraft, but scientists soon realized that the astronauts would also be working in space, and so they started working on better space suits for these missions. The first space suits were silver in color because scientists at that time felt that this would reflect the sun rays. They had pipes in them that supplied air and water to keep the astronauts cool. Soon space missions required extravehicular activity, EVA, on the part of the astronauts. That means the astronauts had to move out of the spacecraft to walk on the moon and, later, to repair the space shuttles while they are in orbit around the Earth. The suits had to be changed. They were attached to the spacecraft by a thick tube that carried air and water, and stopped them from floating away. During Apollo missions, the space suits were modified further. They were big backpacks with air, water, and batteries so that the astronauts could do a moonwalk for about 8 hours. The thick tubes were removed. The astronauts had more freedom to move around, flying in space. A spacesuit attached to a rocket-powered backpack is called a Manned Maneuvering Unit, MMU. It has rocket motors to help the astronaut to fly around in space. There is a camera in the astronaut's helmet, so the other crew members and scientists on Earth can monitor what the astronaut is doing. Modern-day spacesuits. Modern-day astronauts don't need to wear spacesuits at all, most of the time. When they are inside a spacecraft, they wear overalls, or even their own clothes. They wear special white spacesuits only when they need to go out into space to do repair work or perform experiments. The most commonly used spacesuit these days is the orange spacesuit. It is worn only during launch and re-entry. The suit has a parachute and other survival items. It is orange to make it easier to spot the crew. Interesting facts. Initially, spacesuits were made to fit each astronaut, but now they are off-the-rack ready-made. They are made up of different parts in many sizes that can be attached and will fit astronauts of different sizes. Astronauts can select a suit, pack their bags, and go. Future spacesuits. In the future, you might be able to go into space for a holiday. Scientists are researching to design spacesuits that will be smaller, lighter, and more comfortable. These suits will be better fitted and made of fabric, with less metal and rubber. Movement in the spacecraft will be easier. Spacesuits have 11 layers. The layers are sewn and cemented together. They are about 4 inches thick. It takes almost 2.5 years to produce a suit, and it costs around $2 million. The spacesuit is too heavy for training on Earth. The astronauts use special lightweight parts on Earth, and they do a lot of training in water. In the pool, they do all the things they will do on their mission. A spacesuit is not easy to put on. It takes an astronaut over an hour to wear a spacesuit, with the help of an assistant. Under their helmets, astronauts wear a hat called a Snoopy cap. It has a microphone and speakers, so astronauts can talk to each other. Under the spacesuit, astronauts wear another light suit. It covers their entire body except their head, hands, and feet. There are water tubes in this layer to keep the astronaut cool.